Today we're going to have a look at the process of creating Lookfors inside of Progress Adviser. Now Lookfors are what we refer to as your goals, any standards or things that you want to see during a walkthrough, that you want to see demonstrated by your teachers, your educators. We refer to those as Lookfors. And these get set up at the district level or the school level, although we find most of our users set them up as a district level standard. So for this demonstration, we're going to create some district level Lookfors. So we're going to go under the management section menu here. We're going to click on district content. And then here on the right, you're going to see district Lookfors. So that's where we're going to go to set these up. And you'll see inside of our demonstration district, we've got a bunch of Lookfors already laid out. Let's look through some of these columns real quick, because all of these points of data are important associations with a Lookfor. These determine which sorts of walkthroughs would contain a given Lookfor. To begin with here, we just have the text or the content of the Lookfor itself, what it is an administrator is watching for as they do their walkthrough to evaluate. Now we can associate these with specific departments. There may be Lookfors that make a lot of sense in your science and mathematics classes that don't make as much sense in a physical education setting, for instance. So the departments help a walkthrough form filter out different Lookfors that may not be relevant to the room or the individual that you're performing a walkthrough on at a given moment. And you can actually further associate Lookfors with specific staff types. So let's say you've got some walkthroughs that you only do on certificated personnel. You can associate a Lookfor with certificated staff so that will only show up in those walkthroughs. You also have the option to set this up at a grade level. So here's the Lookfors that we already have built in your district. You would see and be able to double check. Maybe you already have that Lookfor in place, but you just want to see if it's there. And if you have existing Lookfors you want to make changes to, you can click the edit button here next to any Lookfor to do that. But we're going to create a new district Lookfor. So we're going to click on new district Lookfor here at the top in the navigation bar. And you have the option to create a custom goal or select from predefined goals. We can have CSTP style goals in the system, for instance, that you can just select and drop in to your collection of Lookfors without having to really create anything new. We're going to create a custom goal here just to kind of look at all the features of Lookfors. At the top of this list, we're going to see the goal number. This is just a unique identifier. In our test case, we have over 400 goals. You probably won't have quite as many, but you'll see there that unique identifying number, and that helps prioritize where it appears inside of your walkthroughs in what order. And then you have the goal text itself, up to 1,200 characters. If you want to be that detailed, you type it in there. Every time you have a Lookfor in a walkthrough, you have the option to track quantities. So for instance, if you have an initiative to see more students called forward to write on the board in front of the class, you might want to see that 2 or 3 times in half an hour. You can add a quantity here and you can put a value of the number of times observed, for instance. You can also add the option to add comments so that as you're doing a walkthrough or any administrator is doing a walkthrough where this Lookfor appears, maybe you want to gather more than just did they do well or did they not do well. You might want some explanation or some examples of what you saw. You can add comments fields to your Lookfor. And then you have the option here to include this goal on a whole district report or not. Here we have the option to set this Lookfor to be associated with specific staff types, so we're fine with this being a certificated. If you're doing walkthroughs and observations or evaluations on administrative staff, you're probably looking for some different things there, so you can associate your Lookfor accordingly. By default, we'll have it apply to all departments and all grade levels. That may not be what you want, so you can just click on any of these, or you can control click on multiple departments, and it will associate with whichever the departments you control click on, an individual, or again, if you wanted them associated with all, you can select all departments there. And let's say we just want this to apply to walkthroughs in grades 1 through 4, so we'll just select those. And obviously, as we're creating it, we want it to be active. Maybe you want to, preemptively create some goals that are not really going to apply until next school year. You can create them as inactive and then activate them later on if you want. Now we'll just add some text here just as a demonstration, and then we will go on to add the goal. Now, the goal has been created, but there's some additional features that you might want to incorporate here. Evidences are helpful if there are a few different ways of accomplishing an objective or demonstrating a discipline. As an educator, you might want to add some evidences. So we'll just say, in this case, called students forward that might be a kind of look for. We'll just give this a unique number of 1, so it will appear at the top of the list. We'll click Add New. And let's say we want to add another evidence called on raised hands. And this will be our second evidence, and we're going to add that in as well. So now when we go and do a walkthrough, in addition to just the basic criteria setting for our look-fors, we also have the option to click one or more evidences or examples of how we saw that look-for or discipline or skill demonstrated during the course of the walkthrough. We also have an option here to add descriptors. So in this case, our criteria are innovating, integrating, applying, exploring, emerging, or not observed. But what does it take for something to qualify as, say, happening at an integration level? Well, you can add some of that text in. And what will happen is as you're doing your walkthrough, when you mouse over the integrating criteria, you'll see this text pop up. And this can be helpful if you have multiple staff members doing evaluations. They might not have all of these look-fors and their descriptions memorized. So if they just mouse over the criteria, they'll get a refresher on what it is that you're looking for to qualify something at the level of integrating or innovating, for example. And so you can add those options in there. And that's how you create new look-fors goals inside of Progress Advisor.